Welcome to my podcast, Actual Leigh. This is the continuation of last week's conversation. Let's dive right back in. So I find phobias, this uncontrollable fear thing to be, it's just fascinating, the psychology behind it, and it also just
Well,
sounds awful. Like,
what's funny is, so when I was younger, I like made myself afraid of things I was supposed to be afraid of. And it was really weird because like now all those things, I'm not afraid of them. And I didn't like have to go through anything to not be afraid of them. Like spiders, I'll have them crawl in my hands. I don't care.
yeah,
Like I don't know, I just like lost all my phobias or something. I don't know. But
yeah.
I can't think
I
of anything
wasn't,
I'm afraid of
yeah,
except
like
for my kids
spiders and
dying.
stuff. I used to just catch them bare hand. I didn't care. And bees and stuff like that. And it was only like as I got older that the too many leg thing started to bother me,
Mhm.
and I can
It's
still
not the
deal with
spider.
them, but I just don't like them in my space, you know?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I follow her. I like her a lot.
Yeah. She was one of what like my first 10 TikTok follows, I think. And
hmm
they're like I don't see her stuff really anymore, but yeah, they were always really cute. Mhm.
Oh,
Fuzzy guys.
I'm
Yeah,
so
I
glad
don't really.
that I was able to come. Oh, I wanted to
Awesome.
introduce you to two of my friends. So every Pride in my town, there's a couple that makes these, and they feel so cool, like they're so squishy. But she makes these little monsters. So I get
Aw,
two. I get two every year at
they're
Pride.
so cute.
These are the two I got this year. They have little button eyes.
I have a hot dog.
Isn't it called a blizzy?
I don't know. He's a Lego guy.
I like them.
Oh, those
I don't
guys
have
are
very many
cute.
cool things in here yet.
Yeah, I also have this guy which I use when I'm streaming, like and I'm gaming and something stupid happens because he screams.
I don't have anything cool. I'm gonna have cool things in here.
Yeah, I gotta find my fart machine because I need to add that in. Like, especially when I'm streaming, if I'm quiet for a long time, I can just hit the button and like anybody, because I have a lot of people that watch, but they don't ever say anything. They'll never, was that real? I don't know.
Did you fart? What? Excuse me. So I was hoping this would work because it has like different sounds on it, and then you can make sounds that you can put in here.
Oh,
You could make a
yeah,
fart,
that
nice
would be
juicy one.
cool.
There's
Yeah, they're
spots for
like,
four.
I need that when I'm streaming because, like, when I'm waiting for the helicopter in the game, I'm always like, helicopter, helicopter. I just need the sound, like, because
Yeah.
I don't sing it right. So I know they make stuff like that for streaming, like where you have like control boards, and it's just I don't do a lot of I don't know, like they have like all the stuff, like streamers have all the stuff that you can do and these buttons, and I don't care about any of that. I just want to hang out and talk with people. I'm not going to be like, you can't spend points to tell me to drink water because it's going to make me mad. I'm not doing that.
See, I do want to figure out when I'm streaming. So there's a game that I have that if you make noise, the monsters can find you. So you like stay really quiet. But that's the one that I would want them to be able to make noises and stuff when I'm streaming so that they can make the monster come to me if they spend money.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then you could be like almost to the end and then they start making all the noises.
I could see that. I swear I saw one of my Twitch friends playing that game because they were all like whispering and stuff. So I
Yeah.
think, you know,
It's a backroom game. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but yeah, it's called like the back rooms or something like that. And so you're just like going through all those different levels and getting to different
yeah,
levels. I don't even know if there's an end. I think you just keep going.
yeah. Huh.
But yeah,
I
yeah, you
can't
have to like
do horror games. I I want to. Like, I want to finish Last of Us, but I was getting too stressed out. Like, I get stressed out playing the games I normally play when I'm just creeping around and doing headshots and stuff, and I'll start getting all like worked up, and I'm like, oh, I'm clenching my jaw. I need to let my stomach go, and like, so horror games are like maybe I'll get there like once I'm on my ADHD meds for a while and I have a little more what's the word, like robustness for my stress, right?
Mhm.
Because I feel very
Yeah.
fragile with certain types of stress right now. And when I was on the ADHD meds last time, that got significantly better. So
Hmm.
maybe then, because
Yeah,
there's some really good games out there that just happen to be creepy. Like,
exactly. I like the ones that I have just because it's fun for people to watch because I get scared.
yeah,
And when I get scared, I can't control what I do.
right. I'm so internalized. I feel like I would have to learn how to externalize it, which it might be good for me to do that because I do hold everything in and it's not healthy. So like, I don't know. I don't know. I would have to try and see if I could actually like, because every now and again when I'm playing a game, I will like be like, oh shit, but mostly I just
Yeah.
laugh at like the horrible ways I kill people. So
These are more like jump scare kind of things that scare me more than like the
yeah.
like storyline things. So like when I'm playing the autopsy game, the morgue assistant, I forget what it's called. But like you'll be like trying to work on the body and stuff, and all of a sudden there's like ghosts and stuff like knock
Yeah.
something over.
Yeah. When I was playing Death Stranding and you go through the areas with the BTs, which are basically like souls that are stuck there,
Mhm.
sometimes they would just pop up like right next to you, and oh my God. I sometimes would go into sections and I would get like a warning that they're there, and I'd be like, turn around and go a different way instead of going through it. I was like, I don't know. I'm too stressed out right now. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But there was like at
Oh,
the very end of the game, one of the BTs chased me, and they don't normally do that so much, like a little bit, but he like followed me into a building, and I was just like, oh my God, like, why are you doing that? Like, it was really funny. So maybe there's
um,
hope for me yet.
yes, I think there is.
Hope for
I
me
just
to
need
be
time to
funny while
play
scared. Huh?
it. So I just need time to play the games. I don't even
Yeah, I don't like you don't have time to do anything. It's amazing that you have time to do the photo stuff.
because like I'll work. So the last shoot I did, she scheduled it ahead of time, but so I worked from I think I went in at like 5 a.m. I got off at 3 p.m. and then their shoot was at 5. And then I was editing until 9 p.m. So I
Wow.
really worked from like 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then I had to go back to work at 5 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Yeah, that's commitment to getting the things done.
But I like go and go and go until my body gets sick and makes me take days off. Like I went
Yeah.
to Yellowstone, which was great.
The photos are
Um,
amazing, the colors. Oh my God.
and they're like those are the colors. Like it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I could tell
Um,
that they weren't even some of those photos you just pulled them. They weren't like you didn't do anything to
yeah.
them.
Like all I did was because they were raw, I just like made sure it didn't have noise and stuff from the raw. And then like I
Right.
barely had to edit any of those. And then some of them I just like dehazed a couple of them just because the steam was so crazy, so you could actually see what was in the picture.
Right.
But yeah, I barely had to edit those photos because they're just beautiful. And so it took, I was just like, one more, one more, one more.
Yeah.
I still have so many. I took 6,000 pictures, something like that.
Sounds about right. I I got this app like or this software a couple years ago. I actually need to figure because it was on my desktop and I don't have the desktop anymore, so I probably need to install it on my laptop. But it goes through your photos and it uses AI to categorize them, basically tag them by topic or subject, right? Because like I have so many photos that like are they're all organized by date and once upon a time I knew
Mhm.
what I was doing on those days, but I am so disconnected from my past that I don't, unless I put a note in there. So it allows me
Yeah.
to search, like, oh, I want to look for my sunset photos, or I want to, and then I could just search for it that way. So I was in the process of like working on that and correcting it and stuff. But I had like, I'm trying to remember how many photos. I was like over 200,000 photos, and
Mhm.
that's not even all my like film stuff and from when I had film cameras, and I'm just like, dude, there's so many
Yeah.
photos to go through.
Like just the photos in my Lightroom because I wanted to know. And I've deleted a bunch the last like few months that I went back and just like I'm not going to redo any of those photos. Like I'm just deleting them. There's 25,837 in my Lightroom, and that's just Lightroom.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. They add up. It was crazy to me when I realized how many I had. It was like, dang. And the thing is, I stopped doing photography in like 2012. So I just take pictures with my phone, and I don't really take that many on my phone. Like, I just occasionally like pictures of food or whatever, but like, so most of that is from 2003 when I got my first DSLR. Well, I had about 500 photos or so before that from a different digital camera. And then so it was like a decade of photos,
mhm.
and it's like 200,000 or something. I'm just like, dang. And most of those I never even got to go through because like I was so swamped with other things that I would take the photos and be like, oh, I'm going to come back to that. Like I did a photo shoot of a come on, brain, you had the word and then you just went and gave me a different word. A stunt competition with motorcyclists, right? Where they
Whoa.
and so I was just because that's kind of like my strength is taking action photos. So I
Mhm.
just go out and take photos, and it was like at 2 p.m. in the middle of summer, so it was like the worst time of day for photos. The shadows are just super
Yeah.
harsh. So I wanted to go through and edit them and kind of clean them up a little bit. And I edited like 10 of them or something, but I never got to go through and really, finish them up. And it's there.
Mhm.
That was 2006. It's still there in my to-do list. Like, like I want to do it.
You have very long to-do lists.
Right. I know I just need to, it'll be one of these days I'll just get in a mood and I'll be like, I'm gonna go do that. But
There's so many pictures of buffalo.
waffles are cool.
They are like, oh, I was
Uh,
just looking at them. Like that's not edited at all, but
yeah,
they're just cute. But yeah, the colors are just amazing. Like,
that's like a calendar or a postcard photo right there.
and then while I was a passenger in the car on the way back, I was just taking pictures out the window because like the mountains were just so beautiful. Oh, I want to go back. I just want to live
Yeah,
there. It's like a
I've
little
ever,
house on the mountain.
yeah, I've ever been there. Someday maybe.
Oh,
I
that's
still
before
like
it
have
explodes.
this, huh?
Before it explodes.
Right? I know, before we all die. The so I have like this plan in my head that at some point, like after the RV sells, or maybe when the lawsuit stuff sorted out, then I'm just gonna put some money into doing like a road trip where I like go up to Washington and then I go like east, right? And see
Hmm.
like how my stamina is, how far I go. So there's a lot of stuff I could see on the way if I do that.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah. The
you might just
backhoe.
wake up one day and I'm like hiding in your basement though.
I would love that.
That would be fun. I
It
don't know
would
how I
be.
would get in there, but I'll figure it
I
out.
think I locked doors. I live in a small town, remember? Well, what's funny is usually I don't lock them till I get home and like I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And I come like sometimes I work until 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I came home and I come to open the door and the door's locked. And I'm like, who locked me out of my house? I have a key on me.
Right? You're like, dang it.
I was like, oh, I don't know. Something told me to lock the door. And I'm like, so your intuition said your mom's gonna kill you, basically.
Yeah, I'm like obsessive door locker, but I do live in a more
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
gosh, when I lived in California, I would like walk to my car and be like, "Did I lock it? Like, did I lock the
Yep.
door?"
I know. I worry about my car just because there's so many people
Mm.
that post in the city group about getting woken up because somebody was trying to steal a catalytic converter or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, I have a machete.
I'm like, try.
Yeah, just touch my car, motherfucker.
Jeez. I mean, I have one of the easiest cars to break into, but ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be so offended. It's like most of our house is behind like a gated thing, and it's
Mhm.
built well enough you can't just climb over the gate, which is nice. But our front door and these two windows are on that side, so I always make sure that there's like locks in place, and but at least the windows are the kind that have like the metal frame in the middle, so you'd have to break through the tempered glass and then cut through that
Mm.
frame to get in. So there's that. But
Scary that you have to think about that.
yeah, I think I'm just wired that way anyway. It's like even as a kid, I was always like mentally preparing for if somebody was in the house, and that was when my parents left the house unlocked.
I
They've done
was too. But not even with it locked, like that people would just break in, but
right,
because we had big windows, like the front room had like really big windows all along it. And I'm like, why even lock a door? Someone's gonna just break a window anyway.
right. Yeah. I think like the breaking the window thing is like I feel like it must be like people will unless they specifically want to get into your house, they go to the path of least resistance where they're going to make the least amount of noise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but it's still, yeah, like, and, especially like older windows are pretty easy to jimmy. My parents, we had like the old school windows, so they actually drilled a hole through the two frames so we keep a screw in it.
Mm.
And they had a different level so you could leave the window open just a little bit and you wouldn't be able to reach it to unlock it or anything. Um,
Um,
just as a way to make it like harder. But we had our house broken into when I was like 12, 11 or 12, somewhere around there. And I was already kind of like having trust issues with the world. So that like messed with my head. And it was my aunt that did it. It didn't matter that I knew who did
mm.
it. It like completely established this like I don't feel safe, in
Mhm.
any living space. And so I've always just kind of like when I bought my house, it had bars over the windows, and I loved that. What did
Hello,
you just?
spider.
Oh, it was a spider. I was
It's
like,
like
you
a
saw something I
giant.
could see, like your face. You were just like, ooh.
I was like, what kind of spider are you? As long as you're not, it's a jumping spider. I'm fine with those. Like as long as you're not a wolf spider, those are my least. Like those are the only spiders I don't like. So
Yeah.
I took this picture. I completely forgot about this. Let me see if I can turn this around. Oh, there it is. Ah, no, no, I'm big. That's not what I meant to do. No, that okay. So there's guys fishing
Yeah.
right here, buffalo, like
Oh,
literally right there. And I'm like, what? Like that's terrifying to me. They're so close to the buffalo.
yeah. That's interesting. I guess they live there or something, or so they're just kind of familiar, or are they like oblivious tourists?
There was a bunch of them. Like I don't know. It was in Yellowstone, so I don't know. Like there's a lot of people fishing in that river and there's just buffalo all over the place. And then there was people on a kayak and they were about to go around a corner and right around that corner was a bunch of buffalo like drinking out of the water and I'm like, that's scary. Like
Yeah.
I want to
I get,
respect the nature from my car.
yeah. I'm guessing the buffalo are relatively used to seeing people, so as long as you don't do anything unexpected, they're pretty chill for the most part.
Yeah, they were very mellow. Like they were right next to the road. Like they're just chilling. Like that one picture of the buffalo right there. Like he's super close. Like I just like rolled my
Yeah.
window down, like, and then I had the window down and I was taking a picture of some elk. And then the elk starts, like, I looked up the other way. I was talking to Evelyn. I'd go to turn around. The elk's like right by my window. I'm like, oh no.
Elks are
They're heavy.
huge.
They're
They're
big.
huge.
And they're really big. Moose are even bigger. I didn't
Yeah.
see any of those when I was there, but elk are big.
Yeah.
They're taller than the car.
Right? Yeah, we like my mom's boyfriend, he grew up in Oregon. He was always like, yeah, when you're riding your motorcycle through the corners and stuff, you need to always kind of put yourself in this position to be able to react if there's something on the other side of the corner that you're not prepared for. And he'd like talk about like elk and stuff like that. And then like one time when we were up there, visiting his family, I don't remember where we were going, but we were coming back towards his parents' house, and we come through a turn, and he just swerves really suddenly, and something brushes my shoulder, and then he
Oh,
starts going, "That was an elk." Like I didn't, because it was nighttime, so I didn't really, like it was just right in the middle of the lane, and it was just like, I don't know, I think I was like 7 or 8, and I could just feel how big it was as we went by it on the motorcycle. It was just like,
I can
damn.
imagine on the motorcycle too, because like even in the car they feel huge. And
Yeah.
these weren't even like grown like big ones. Like they're still big. I feel like they're bigger over there because the ones that I saw in Yellowstone were not as big as the ones in Oregon because we would see them
Mm.
all the time there.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if they're like slightly different types or something. Oh,
Possibly.
the elks in Red Dead Redemption 2 were awful too when they chased you.
These were very, very calm.
There's a few clips of me just being like, "Oh shit," as I realized that the elk is coming at me, because normally they'd run away, but a few times they were not having it with me.
No. Yeah, from what I hear, like, so the other thing was I was having to research like um bears because they have grizzly bears and black bears there. And you react differently to each of them. So I'm like, okay, well, first of all, if I see a bear, I'll have to be like, is that a grizzly bear or a black bear? But I was reading and it was like, grizzly bear, first you act big, but if it comes up to you, then you like go on the ground and act small
Yeah.
and then hope that it doesn't attack you. For a black bear is the one where you want to be really big and continue to be really big and not back down. And then it says, if you run into a polar bear, like why is this on the list? Fight for
Right?
your life, but you're probably gonna die.
Right. Right.
Oh, they don't back down. Uh,
I would, yeah, bears are scary. Like
yeah,
they're cool, like when you watch them on like Animal Planet, but like I don't I would not want to meet one in person.
no. I don't know where that spider went. I just realized.
There was a like when we were like homeless when I was little, we stayed in a tent at this park, and there was like a raccoon that was pretty chill that would come like hang out and take snacks and stuff, and I thought that was
Oh,
cool.
raccoon buddy.
Those little fingers.
Raccoons and possums, like they can be chill.
Yeah, I like
Poss
possums. I would
yeah,
do possum rescue if I felt like I had the bandwidth for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about like after the kids are grown, doing some sort of rescue and like specializing in something. So, like, either if it's like ravens or bats or possums, but I'd want to specialize in like one thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Rehab that one thing.
Yep. I think like I watch videos of possum rescuers. I'm like, that'd be cool. I don't know.
That
Maybe
would be.
someday I'll be in a situation where I can do that.
It's rare that they attack. They'll act mean, but they're not going to attack you.
Yeah, they get all hissy.
Yeah.
They're so
It's like,
cute with
oh,
their
come
little like crossed eyes and you
on,
know.
Lisa. They're like overbites.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that they're like people think they're gross or whatever. I'm like, no, but they're cool. They're like,
They're super clean.
yeah,
And
they're less likely to carry rabies,
mhm,
and they
their
eat things
body
that,
temperature.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they eat stuff we don't really want around, and yeah.
They eat ticks.
Yeah.
So if you have a lot in your yard, you're less likely to get Lyme disease.
Yep.
Uh, I so I have some possums that like live here. And I see them on my Ring camera. They walk through every night. And I'm like, oh, they're still here. And one time
Yeah.
they had babies. And I'm like, oh, babies.
I haven't seen
They're
any
so cool.
here. We've got to have some. They're kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know we have lots of feral cats. I actually had to put a device on our porch because they kept spraying the front door and it was making the front area of the house smell. And then one of them shit right in front of the front door last week, and I was like, "That's it,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm getting one of the device." There's like these devices that they just startle the cats and they run away, like it's a motion sensor. So,
Hmm.
um, I was like, "You guys can hang out everywhere else, but right here." But and then there's rats. I haven't seen them, but downtown it's been really bad lately, and they like people are sharing videos in the community group that like they'll go by the coffee shop and there's just like 10, 15 rats and they don't even care that you're there and can see them. So somebody just posted in the group that they saw the posts about it. So they came out with their rat terriers and multiple days in a row and got about 30 rats each time. And I thought that was pretty cool. Just like, because
And
the,
that's
I
a good
guess,
way to do it.
yeah, I guess the city, they called a pest place and the the pest guy had to reschedule and so like he isn't coming out in a timely fashion and so it's cool that this local family's like well we have rat terriers that specialize have been trained for this so let's come out and
Just walk around with our rat
yeah
terrier.
and they posted pictures with their dogs and like all the rats laid out in front of them and I'm like that's I don't like rat terriers as dogs but I like that
Yeah,
about them.
that's that is really cool, actually. My mom had a rat terrier and I hated him, but not as much as her Chihuahua Maltese, which had the worst of both.
Right.
It had like long, wiry hair,
Oh no.
ugliest thing ever. And around one of its eyes was black, so it looked like it had one big eye and one little eye.
Yeah. That's
Ugliest
I
thing.
I'm just not there are exceptions, but I'm generally not a small dog fan. I have
Either.
met some that have been treated and trained in a way where they're more chill and I can deal
Hmm.
with them, but on average, people do not teach them to be good dogs. And so they end up being little assholes. And
Sure, yeah.
when I had my dog, he's 70 pounds of lanky dog. He's just a greyhound.
Mhm.
And when he first came to me, he was fresh off the track. He was freshly retired. And he thought all other animals, especially little animals, were his friend. And he wanted to be friends with everybody and play with them. And then he became terrified of little dogs. Like if he even saw one like a block away, he didn't want to go that way because they were also very rude. And the owners don't control them. They don't
Mhm.
and I didn't disagree with them. I never tried to force the issue because I was like, you can't trust that those people are going to keep their dog, they go, oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, ho. And I'm like, no, dude, your dog's
No,
nasty.
it's horrible. Like I would be so mad because so our dog would be barking and it would not stop. Like even if it realized it's us, like it
Yeah,
doesn't stop.
right. Ugh. I can't
And,
handle I can't
and
handle
they would
that.
make each other bark. Like they'd bark off each other and they have no idea what they're barking at.
Right. Yeah, I had neighbors that German Shepherds that did that. They just barked at everything. And they would hear my microwave beeping and they would bark about
Oh
that.
God.
So
No.
it was like so stressful because it was 90 decibels in my house with the windows and doors closed when they barked. It was
Jeez.
so loud.
Oh.
So I got this device that makes a high pitched sound similar to the one I have for
Mhm.
the cats.
Mhm.
And I set it to only go off during certain hours. And the idea is that it responds to the barking sound and makes this noise and it distracts them. And so it breaks that pattern. And
Mhm.
I didn't do it all the time because I didn't want them to acclimate to it.
You should.
Yeah. So I just did it for like 4 or 5 hours during the hours that like people might be sleeping. And after like a few weeks, they were just quieter in general. And then it just got to the point I didn't need the devices anymore. It took about a year and a half or so to really like establish.
You taught their dogs.
Yeah, that is not the first time that has happened because I got fed up with some
Oh,
bullshit.
jeez.
Yeah. I didn't know it would work that well, so I was very pleased that I was
Yeah,
hopeful it would help, but it ended up like making a big difference. So it was like
that's
awesome.
that is awesome. My dog doesn't
Yeah.
bark very much. She just barks pretty much when you should, you
Yeah.
know? Like
Yeah.
if we're not home and someone comes to the door and is there for an excessive, not right when they get there, but if they're there for an excessive amount of time, she'll start barking.
Yeah.
If we're home, she doesn't, though. If they come in the house, she doesn't know them and we didn't let them in, she'll bark. That's
That's
good.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I told my friends, just come in. She doesn't bite them or anything, but she'll bark at you, so I know you're there.
Right.
Yeah, she's old. She's old, and
Yeah.
sometimes she doesn't hear them come in anymore.
That's that's sad when animals get old like that and they can't hear anymore and you're like, "Oh." Yeah, my dog was pretty good about the barking. I mean, greyhounds are not super barky anyway. His thing was the sound of seagulls on the TV. That was like crack to him, and he could be because he would get annoyed when I was watching TV if he didn't like what I was watching, and he would go upstairs, right? Give me the long face, like, "Why are you watching this shit?" and then go upstairs. But if you heard the seagulls, he would come down, and I'm just like, it's just seagulls, and I'm trying to hear the fucking conversation. The seagulls are very subtle in the background. I didn't even notice really that they were,
So you
and
started barking.
his ears are up, his eyes would get really big, and he would look at me while he was barking because he's like, "You hear that? You hear that shit? You like he was so excited, the tail's like going. He would bark at the doorbell because of the sounds, but when I went to the door, he would stand behind me. He always deferred to me. And I found
Hmm.
out later that what was when I wasn't around, he tried to be the boss. So if I was there,
Mm.
he deferred, he would stay behind me, be quiet, and see what I did. But if I wasn't there and like I have a friend come visit who he wasn't super familiar with, he would actually corral that person. Like my friend got trapped in a corner because he was afraid of the dog, even though the dog was not aggressive. And the dog grabbed his clothing and pulled him over there and just kept him there, until I came back. And then he went and laid down like normal. And I had no idea he'd been doing this because nobody told me, right? Until finally someone did tell me. And then I started asking friends who'd been left alone with him, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he totally does that. It's weird." And I'm like, but only the friends with nervous energy, like my friends with anxiety
Oh, like they
issues.
were scared of him. So like if I were to just be like, no, we're not going there.
Yeah, he would be like,
Petting
"Okay."
him,
But
it'll
that
be fine.
anxiety energy made him like kind of snappy and stuff. So like
Mhm.
one of my friends, when she come over, he would snap at her a little bit, and he did it in front of me. And she wasn't doing anything. She just has a lot of nervous energy, and
Mhm.
I think maybe it just felt like something he needed to control a little bit. So I understand that
Mhm.
sometimes.
I do too. I like
Yeah.
to, oh my gosh. So Friday, I snapped at my co-managers and I told my boss today, I was like, I snapped at them. I'm going to tell you the whole story. And I apologized to them afterwards. So after I told her the whole story, she goes, I would have acted the same way you did.
Yeah.
So, but like, I didn't snap at anyone else. It was just them. And because like, it's so a guy, so one of my employees, he can't hear. And I've gotten him new hearing aids. Like I told you about that. And he
Hmm.
kept touching the fish and then touching my food. And then I'd have to throw my food away. And so I kept telling him, like, you have to wash your hands, you have to change your gloves, like, before you can touch anything else, because the fish we keep separate. Don't touch the
Right.
oven door. Let me know. I will open the oven door. You put the fish in and then go wash your hands, and then you can help me. And he kept touching things. And I kept yelling at him because he can't hear me.
Right.
So then I call for John and Tony, my co-managers. I'm like, can one of you come and run food for me? Because they told me a bus was coming of people. So I was making food and I was the only one on the hot spot making all the food. So I'm like, I will make the food. you guys just run the food out. Like I don't have the time to run the food out and be making all the food. And so they were like, well, we'll send Gavin in. Gavin's our retail helper. He is not fast. He's not on the same
Yeah.
mental wavelength. Like he doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have. So they sent him in and he's putting all my new food in front of my older food so that I'm having to waste out all that older food because my newer food sell it's
Yeah.
so I'm getting upset and I'm having to correct him and I'm having to correct Richard, who's fish hands man, and I'm having to watch everything. I burned my hand really bad because I'm dealing with all this stuff, like so bad that like the glove was stuck to my hand.
Are we?
And so I was holding the food in like the pan with my hand, one hand with my glove on, and then
Right.
I dropped the pan on accident and I grabbed it with my other hand, like out of reaction. And I set it down. I saved the food, but my hand was like it's still like I have a blister right here, right here.
Yeah. Ugh, I hate
Um,
burn pain.
so and then I asked my John, I was like, John, can you come in the kitchen for 5 minutes? I have food in the oven. You just have to take it out. I will wrap it. Just take it out. I have to go and put something on my hand and so that I stop hurting every time I grab anything. And so he's like, you can deal with it. It's just a burn. And I'm like, you don't understand, dude. Like, I just want to put band-aids on my fingers. Like, that's it. And I have to
Right.
pee. That's it.
Right.
And so then Tony, who was doing something at the time, which is why I asked John, he's like, John, like I hear him on the headset. He's like, John, just go in there. She burned her hand really bad, and I haven't been able to go in there. And so he finally comes in, and so I'm able to do that. And he keeps asking me when I'm coming back. I'm like, I'm putting burn cream on my hand, putting band-aids on. I'm going to the bathroom.
So he's
And I
asking
look,
you if you're there yet and you haven't even left.
I know. I barely walked out of the room. I was going to go to the bathroom first so I could wash my hands and then put the burn cream on and then put the band-aids on. And I'm like, I haven't even had a drink of any of water. I haven't been able to go to the bathroom. It's been 4 hours that I've been in the kitchen and like I want to stay hydrated.
Right.
And I'm by myself because the help I have doesn't really know what they're doing. So,
Right.
so I had asked them because the bus was coming in, and I'm like, can you please help? Because I just need real help. Didn't come in, sent Gavin back in again. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So finally, it was like noon, and I went in the kitchen at 5 a.m. Noon. I haven't had a break, except for that one bathroom break slash Band-Aid break.
Right.
And so I asked them, I'm like, can somebody come in here and actually help me? And they're like, we'll send someone in shortly. I'm like, so finally 30 more minutes goes by and I'm like, don't worry, I got it. I did it by myself. Like I said it like really kind of rude. And they
Yeah.
were like, so then I'm like, I need somebody to come into the kitchen because I need to get out of the kitchen.
Right.
And so finally, John's like, Tony, can you go in the kitchen so Victoria can go out? So I walk out of the kitchen. I had the hotspot all set up and everything, like all the food's out there. I kept up all day. And I just start going off on John. I was like, it is not okay. Like every time I walked out there with food, you and Tony are just chatting. And I'm in the kitchen busting my ass while you send me people that I'm having to do more work for having them in the kitchen. They're not helping. And I'm asking you for help, which I needed help for like 10 minutes. And
Right.
instead I'm having to do more work. And I start bawling. Like I had like all the frustration just like pent up. And I finally just start yelling. I'm like, like I come in and help you guys anytime that you need help. I come in on my days off to help you guys. I came in all weekend. I had 15 days in a row I was working because I came in to help you. I have 2 days off total in 3 weeks. And
Right.
I just asked for a little help. And you guys are chatting up at the front. And then you start whispering about me loud enough I can hear you when I'm walking away. And he's like, well, you didn't have to say something about that on the headset. And I'm like, what am I supposed to say? And I'm stuck working and making food while you guys are up here chatting.
Right.
I switched shifts with him to work in the kitchen. I was supposed to be on the floor so that he didn't have to be in the kitchen. So I like for two
Yeah,
hours
that's
cried in the office making the schedule. So
and that seems like a valid reason to be frustrated because it sounds like the way that it is that you guys are supposed to support each other, right? So, and they were just not. And then when that one guy came back, he wasn't even, I mean, it's not like, oh, okay, I'm gonna come help you. And then, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
I would give
I
him
would have
less
been
than five
so,
minutes.
I'm not sure I would have lasted that many hours, to be honest.
And the only reason I did was because time goes by really fast in the kitchen because you're just go, 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 go. And I think part of the reason time goes by fast because you're timing all the food like with a timing gun. And so you're seeing the time like go out further and further and further. And I feel like it makes the time go by really fast.
That makes
And
sense.
so in the kitchen, like there's been days I've worked like a 12-hour shift, didn't even have a break, and didn't realize 12 hours went by. There's no
Right.
windows in there. There's no like
Yeah. It's like you have
so.
enough to do to keep you going. And if
Mhm.
it sounds like it's not totally the same thing over and over again, like you're doing a couple of different things. So yeah,
So
it's pretty
I'm
easy to get
making like
sucked into that.
different, yeah, different food, and then like keeping track, going out to the hotspot, getting anything that's expired, figuring out what I need to make, and like, so it's like a bunch of things. And then on the other side is chicken, which is where the other guy was that does know what he's doing, but you can really only do that because you're in like a certain outfit to touch your raw chicken. So you can
Yeah,
only do that, which I
that
kind
makes
of like
sense.
sometimes because then it's like no one can ask me to do anything else. I'm
Yeah.
just here.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's like, I mean, it's like you work at a place that has a dedicated raw chicken outfit, and then you have a dude that's just doing contamination all over the place. And it's like I mean, he works with food, isn't, do you guys have to get like certified for food handling and stuff there?
So
Or,
you have to have someone on the shift that is certified. So all the assistant store leads are certified, the store lead certified, the food service leader certified. So you have to have somebody a certain number of hours a day that's certified, but not everyone has to be. But
hmm,
he doesn't normally work in the kitchen, and they scheduled him in the kitchen because they didn't want him on the floor because he can't hear anything. And I'm like, that doesn't mean he can work in the kitchen.
right. Yeah.
He can do bakery.
Yeah, if they want to accommodate him and keep him doing stuff that he can actually do, they just need to schedule him for the things that he can do. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that, because
Ugh.
that's crazy making when you have to repeat everything over and over and he just keeps doing whatever.
Yell. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't even know if he's hearing me when I'm yelling. So like
yeah.
I'm
Like,
repeating myself, but he might not hear
could you
me.
written it down for him or like,
I possibly could have, but yeah, I just was like in the middle. I was literally like, so you have two big ovens, which each have six racks in them, and then two small ovens with one rack each. And so the small ovens are mainly for pizza, and then the big ovens. And so I had um two pans of like the whole birds. I had all six of the other one going the whole time I was there, basically, and then the two other ones just when I had pizza. And so like I'm constantly having to, because they have different times on the things in the oven. So I'm
right?
constantly having to do things. So I'm like trying to get all of my stuff done with beeping and all this stuff going on. And then
Yeah,
also watching him and like I didn't even think about writing it down.
right. Well, and also like, would he be responsive to that? Like some people get butthurt about shit like that, even though, you know, they're the ones that are kind of making it hard by refusing to use their assistive devices and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, he's stubborn.
Yeah.
He
We
liked me. He wasn't mad at me.
That's good.
Um, I've known him for since 2017. Like he's worked for me for a long time. He worked for me at Caribou, and it's just he can't like he needs to retire. I don't know how he's younger than my dad. I don't understand.
Right.
My dad's not an old man to me at least.
Yeah. Oh, my mom's like beyond retirement age now. She was saying that she was thinking about retiring in the next few years or something. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's not at retirement age, and I'm like, he's like 3 more years, and I'm like, oh, I can't put up with this for 3 more years.
yeah. Well, and they extended
But
it, didn't they? The retirement age was pushed out. It's not. Isn't it like
So it's not
68 or something
62
now?
anymore. Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure they did extend it out. Huh.
Jeez.
Because,
Annoying.
people shouldn't be able to enjoy their final years or
No,
anything.
no. You
It's
need to
final
be like,
decades.
no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, I should go to bed.
Yeah. Well, thank you for spontaneously deciding to jump on and talk to me after my other appointment fell through. So that was such an awesome surprise. It's just like, woohoo.
I was so glad I was like, because I got out of my meetings early. So I'm like, actually, I just got home.
I know.
Which
I've
is
been like,
like,
it's like I wanted to hang out with you, and it's just been like timing it just really hasn't worked in a long time. So I'm glad it did.
I am too. I need a set schedule.
Yeah.
And I need to stop coming in when they ask me to because they don't when I ask them to. So,
Right. Yeah. They need to, it's, I don't want to, it, because they're the dudes and you're female, right? So you gotta and equalize
yeah.
shit. You have to force it a little bit, unfortunately.
And 100%, I don't even think they realize they're doing it, but they treat me and so my boss is a younger female. She's 26, 27. And yeah, they treat her like they have to reprimand her instead of have conversations with her.
Gross.
And tomorrow they're going to confront her. And I warned her about what it's about. I'm just because he texted, like one of them texted her, but I'm like, have a conversation, just talk to her about it. She doesn't realize. It's like I talked to her and she got it. Like I told her, you can't have two high schoolers together in the kitchen on second shift. Like you just can't. They know what they're doing, but they're not going to get it done.
They're gonna be doing they're gonna get up to
They're not going to get
shenanigans.
everything done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you have to have a grown up with them, and
Right.
that's going to take us having a conversation with our leadership team in the kitchen for them to realize they need to work second shift. Like you can't just all work first shift. It's
Right.
not, it doesn't work. Yes, that's when
Right.
the majority of our sales are, but we set ourselves up for success on second shift for the next day. So you
Right.
have to have a grown up in there.
Right. Yeah. It seems like the workflow needs some tweaking to be better balanced.
It does. And some of that's just going to take some changes in who works for us, I think, because when we opened, we overstaffed because we knew we'd lose people, both to school and to just being new.
Yeah.
We have turnover because they don't realize how much actually goes into the job. And most of the people who stayed were our first shift people. Well, we can't have all first shift people.
Yep.
So you're either going to knock it hours or you're going to take second shift.
Right.
So I have to do it.
Right. And it shouldn't just be you. So,
No, all the people in my position we share. So there's usually, except for weekends, one of us is on first and second shift. At least. If not,
yeah.
on like Mondays, all of us work because we have our meetings on Mondays. And so we have a first shift, two mids, and a second shift. And but yeah, we share. So like every Thursday I work second shift. And then some Fridays, which I hate Friday second shift. It's always right before I have the weekend off, and I'm like, I want to work early so I can be off.
Right. Have a little more time.
But when I get promoted, I won't have to do second shift anymore. So
Nice. Is that like in your future soon or just
yes.
yeah.
So the latest it'll be is in a year, but it might be earlier, but I'll have to drive very far for work. But they won't promote me when they do that because they want me to get the drive time and the mileage still.
Hmm.
Because that's like, I'll make more money doing that than getting promoted.
Got it.
I'll be acting as that position, but I'll still be in my position so that I can get hourly still.
Okay. And is that something like eventually? the position, you won't have to do as much driving, or is it like that's just kind of the
Yeah.
nature of it?
So that won't be my store. I'll just be helping until they figure that store out.
Oh, okay.
But this third store in my town is opening in a year. So I'll most likely be the one at that store unless a different store lead switches to that store, and then I'd be at their store.
Okay.
So it just depends. But it at that time, it's been made clear that it'll be me. So, and I don't see it
Nice.
being anyone else. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
um,
That's it just I mean I know it's like you got the job and then it's just kind of like it's been like a lot and you did all the training and then I know you've like filled in at other stores and helped set up other
mhm,
stores and so there's just been kind of this constant so it's nice to know that even with all the extra work plus like some of the drama stuff that just kind of comes with working with
mhm,
people that there's promotion, there's, like the sort of the stuff that comes with feeling appreciated and
yeah,
knowing that you'll have more compensation in the future and stuff. That's cool.
yeah.
I'm glad that you have that because I think
And
it's
my boss's boss is the one who called me and told me that. So,
it's coming from kind of up there.
um, yeah, exactly. Um, and then he wants me to go down to Iowa, possibly for like 6 weeks for to help open a store, which I have to do that to be able to get the promotion above the position above mine. And so I think that's what he wants one of the stores in our town to be a training store. And I think he wants me to be the training store lead so that we have a training store here. We don't have to send people away because we've been sending them all the way. They have to stay in a hotel when they're getting trained for
Yeah.
the positions. So my position and above, they have to go to a training store. And then also the food service leaders have to go to a training store. So to avoid that, they want one of our stores to be a training store. And I have a feeling it'll be the new one because it'll be the biggest store and it'll have everything. So it'll have the car wash, it'll have the diesel, it'll have all the stuff that's at both the other stores, but together.
Yeah.
So I think that's the plan. I do potentially have another opportunity that arose a few days ago that I may take if things don't get better
Yeah.
where I'm at, but it's not as much money as I would get in the promotion, but it's very set hours and less on my body.
Yeah. So you gotta
Yeah.
yeah,
It's more than I make right now, but it's less than the promotion would be.
right.
So,
So, but hmm.
yeah, I'd be
Well,
the branch manager of a bank again.
oh, okay. More bank stuff.
Yeah. And
Banks are
they come to me.
Yeah. Banks are they do have very set hours and stuff. A little less
Yeah.
chaos.
Yes, and it's not a big bank. It's a local bank. So it's not a bank, it's a credit union, but so even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a position above the one that I had applied for before, because they closed that position. They didn't end up hiring for it, because they wanted to bring in this position instead. Um, so they actually had a branch manager instead of the area manager managing all the branches. So that's my potential other opportunity. It's not that much less than the other job, but it doesn't have the bonuses that my job has. So,
Okay. Yeah. It sounds like you're gonna have to do the cons and pros list thing.
hmm, yep,
But I'm glad that you have opportunities and that you're able to like act on them because I know for a while that, things were your body was being very rude. So,
very rude, and it could again. So,
yep. And you got to make the most of it while you can, kind of thing.
yeah. And I'm like, is it better for me to be active? Because since I took this job and I've been super active, I haven't had those issues. And then if I get a desk job again, will I have those issues again? So
Right.
don't
Yeah, I
know.
do feel like I do better when I'm more active in general.
Mm. But I'm so exhausted by the end of the day.
Yeah,
And I literally go in my bed and do not leave after work. And just if I don't do something right after work and go and do it, I'm just going to be in my bed.
right. Which you probably need that too, but maybe it's like if you
Yeah.
could have the active job but not so many hours. Like
Yes, exactly. Which
have
this would
normal
be.
like, reasonable hours, 8 hours.
Mhm. And I would do a lot more of the computer stuff, but um, it's not all day. And it's not, so I'd still have the active time and more downtime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Time to
We'll
pull out
see.
the spreadsheet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks again for being
Yeah.
making some time and hang out. And I will talk to you online as I usually do. And I hope you get some
Sounds
good
good.
sleep.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks everybody
Yeah.
for hanging out.
Bye.
Thank you for hanging out and listening. A huge thank you to my patrons. I could not do this without you. Want to support my creative chaos and get access to exclusive content? Check out my Patreon. Have questions and or interested in joining me for a conversation? Email me.